Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Toku Turnback. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and today we're going to be taking a look at Gosei Sentai Dairanger episodes 36 through 40. Now, episode 36, A 6,000 Year Grudge. We're back to my favorite story, and that's anything concerning Kujaku, really. I'm not that big a fan of the backstory, to be honest. They're doing this odd thing now where they're turning some of the villains into good guys. Oh, no, we'll get into that later, but Now you're expected to sympathize in this episode with Gaara. This is a very confusing backstory. Like, why did she get shunned because of her scar? Is it a cultural thing? Do I not know? Was there more of an importance put onto beauty back then? Well, okay, that's fair. I guess there is always an importance put on beauty, but still, I don't know why she was ostracized for, but it could be a remnant of a different culture. Outside of that, it was fine. This episode was fine. The villain was okay. The villain of the week, I mean, I don't know. We didn't really get anywhere with it. Ultimately, it led to nothing. I mean, we got the backstory. And there's something there, something that I like. We're actually given more depth to Gaara. The only problem is, I don't care. They haven't, at this point, they haven't really done anything for me to want to care about the villains. And, I mean, it's tragic, it sucks. And part of me does feel for the character, but overall, I can't really say that it was all that impactful. I was more worried about the relationship between Kujaku and Green, and that wasn't really touched on. I guess, I'm looking for something else in this story, and I wasn't getting it. So, I mean, it might be for you. But this episode was certainly not for me. Sorry to say. And there's also something weird about all these stories, and I guess we'll get into it now with episode 37, because I don't know what the Japanese name was, I forgot. Oh yeah, Daijin Ryu. But friggin', I forgot that Serpentera came from this footage, so that was cool. But Serpentera comes down and just it's this two-part story. We're finally back to like two-parters. But I don't know, we haven't really gotten any explanation as to why Daijin Ryu's here. And Kameo's back. Thank goodness. And it looks like he doesn't just stay as Tor the Shuttle Zord. And I'm glad for it. I love seeing Kameo around. And guess who else is still around? Ko, because his story's mixed into this too. And he's a lot less annoying, probably because he doesn't get many speaking roles. He's really grown on me over the course of... Well, I can't say he's grown on me because I haven't really seen much of him these past few episodes. It's really just that I've grown indifferent, because I just haven't seen him in an episode for so long, and I don't know. And his story's coming back that he's gonna turn into a Gorma, and after this two-parter, they straight up just drop it and go into filler again. I mean, not necessarily filler, it's going into the other people's stories, but we still have Ko to worry about. I don't understand. I don't know why the pacing is so weird. Is there some sort of correct order to watch this in? Because after these 2 episodes, we go right into a red focus episode, and then we go into a blue focus episode with their respective stories. I don't get it. The pacing is all weird. It feels like I'm watching this out of order. Whose idea was this? Is there a reason as to why it feels like this is out of order? Because so far, I haven't... And like, they even sometimes they use the Zords and vehicles from stuff that I didn't think is still in the... Like, I'm trying to go in order, but it's so frustrating. Sorry, let's go back to 37. You have seen it. Enormous one. Daijin Ryu comes, he's attacking the Earth because the humans are attacking each other in the form of, the Gorma versus the Dai clan, and okay, like, the story of Daijin Ryu just comes out of nowhere. I don't know why it's important just yet. We had 2 episodes with it, and we don't know why he came. Oh, we know why he came. We just don't know where he came from, who sent him. All we get is some exposition and some theorizing from Master Kaku, thinking that, oh hey, the universe is just trying to tell us to stop. I don't buy into that. I don't really like that as a concept. There's no force behind it other than the Mobius, explanation of, oh, the universe. What's the will of the universe? Why does it want it to stop? I mean, like, I know that the humans have been destroying the Earth. That's not good. I realize that. But what is the point of them, without warning, without notice, just straight up destroying the Earth? Outside of Master Kaku, and even to an extent, Kameo, there's no reason for it to be happening. So it could have been anything. Though I will say, this led to some of the most visceral destruction scenes. Like, we see buildings come down, and the initial building that the villain just punches, that building that they made was not great. But all the rubble coming down, terror in the streets, and then just the absolute decimation of Japan, kinda. Like, it's this amazing shot where Daijin Ryu shoots into the Earth, or shoots at the Earth, and then this wide red, like, area of effect just decimates Japan, and then it didn't actually do that. Like, Japan's still fine. It's not, like, burnt to the ground. I mean, obviously they didn't have the balls to do it, and I didn't think they did. Only problem is, you showed it to us, and I was expecting something a bit more groundbreaking if you show it to us. And it's a lot of the problem that I have with Kamen Rider Amazons, in that, like, in Amazons, they go into the deep, gory sort of dismemberment, but when it comes to the characters, when you hear a sound, when you hear a crunch or something, this sounds gross. When you hear something, you expect there to be more damage. Like, if one of the Amazons jumped onto a person and started clawing at them and, like, quote unquote eating them, and then they jump away and all is left is the Toku blood mark, the Toku blood stain. Like, I feel like the same principle is here. We were shown the destruction of Japan, and we didn't get it. We were shown it. We were, like, everything, the visuals, everything pointed toward it. And we didn't get it, And, I don't know. it was an aesthetic thing. I just thought it was weak. And there's not really much to say about this episode except for Daijin Ryu coming in. There was the pachinko villain, but he didn't really amount to much. They also turned Ko into a Gorma. Kinda, I think. They awakened his Gorma side or something. Like, the reason I'm kind of glossing over it is because they did. They glossed over the explanation, and I don't really know what's going on. Let's move into the next episode, episode 38. Huh? A ceasefire? And Master Kaku goes into a secret room and then rides a cart over to the Gorma side and talks to the Gorma. It was a good scene, don't get me wrong. And it raises a question like, why is he able to use, U power? Outside of that, we don't get much that we haven't gotten before, outside of, like, hey, we're gonna do this ceasefire, but, like, not really. We'll only do the ceasefire until Daijin Ryu leaves. And then the second they command the ceasefire, they start fighting again. They resolve to start fighting again. And then in the next 2 episodes, like, there's no continuity between them because they start fighting the Gorma again, and Daijin Ryu's not around. But, still, Kiba Ranger's still lost now. Oh, he's lost now. And, I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care. Because, like, they didn't set it up properly, or, like, they're not immediately getting to that story. There's this, I feel like it suffers from the pacing because not of the episode itself, but of the pacing of the show. Like, we're not immediately thrown back in the next episode. We don't know what's going on, and then we get filler that doesn't belong here. I don't get it. It's so stilted, and I feel like if I watched this in the right order, it'd be fine, but I don't understand what's going on. Let's just move into episode 39, and the Demon Fist falls in the setting sun. This was a good episode for the characters. I really felt the connection between Jin and Red, but there was something wrong about the pacing of the episode or how it was cut. There's a lot that I didn't understand about it, and the wiki here, it says it's the 4th and final episode of the saga of Demon Fist Master Jin, but it didn't really, like, it was an odd conclusion. The shots that they had for his eventual demise were great. Like, I just don't understand the editing here. They cut between, like, they didn't really show any sort of time passing. So anytime they cut, I didn't know if it was the same day or not, or, like, I know I'd see that there was dark outside, but it didn't immediately, like, catch me because the scenes are all so well lit that I was very confused. And then turns out Jin's the monster of the week, which is a beautiful, beautiful costume, by the way. I love it. But, like, I don't know, I feel like there was a lot missing. I feel like there was a lot more footage that didn't make it into the cut that would have brought this together a lot more. Because, I don't know, I'm just, it was such a confusing episode. Like I said, I I liked the character moments. I liked them a lot. It's just that there wasn't enough time for it to breathe, and that's the biggest misstep of this episode. Because I really would have liked to see the maybe this would have helped with another episode with it, you know? Because, like I said, not enough time to breathe. I would have want this drawn out a little more. Outside of that, it was alright. Not outside of that. Overall, it was an okay conclusion to that story arc. It's just, one, the placement of it right after, the entire disaster of Japan, and two, the editing and pacing of the episode itself. It was so odd and stilted. I don't know. Like, I have these complaints because I want Dairanger to be good. I want it to be better. And I can't exactly pinpoint one thing that made me not enjoy myself during this watch through, but there are a couple, and they're pretty heavy arguments, just because, like, it, I don't know, man. I wish it was better. I really wish this episode was better. Because it would have been a great conclusion. Anyway, on to the fifth and final episode that we will get to today. Farewell, Three Stooges. I gotta say, took me a while to like actually get into this episode. Like, I watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, oh man, filler again, right? But honestly, this episode came out as probably the probably the best out of the 5 that I watched for this batch. just because of that final scene. That final scene of the bike guy sacrificing himself in order to have this manly race between Blue, and I love it, man. It was great. There was an emotional resonance that just hit me. It hit me in the right spots at the right frequency. Oh, it got me. I didn't cry, mind you, because it wasn't that good of a story, but it was still pretty touching to see, and especially they've had this rapport throughout, and like, now that I think about it, these 2 episodes, this one, the one with the Demon Fist Jin, and the Kujiku episode, like, as the wiki even says, it's like there are certain arcs that are in here. I feel like they should have been compressed together. I don't know why we're getting them now. And I feel like if they put them all together, or at least ordered it properly, it would have had a lot more of an emotional impact, because I never enjoy getting to these episodes with Blue and the 3 idiots, but anytime I leave an episode with them, it's good. I enjoy the connection that they have. And obviously they survive again in the end, but this time they've cut their ties with Gorma, and I liked it. I love it. And I kind of want to see them come back in the finale and maybe help out as heroes. You never know. Well, I mean, you probably do if you've already watched it, but I don't know. But overall, again, this was the better episode of the batch, but it's not saying too much, and I don't like thrashing the show because I like the characters. I genuinely like the characters. I just wish that it was either ordered properly or I had watched it in the right order, because you would assume that the number order is the order that you should watch it in, but obviously that's not the case. It doesn't look like this is in the right order. So I don't know. Hopefully there's like some other way that I can watch this, or some other order I can watch this in, because overall these are really good character stories, but I feel like it's all leading back. Like, the biggest problem is the ordering, the pacing of the show. It's not right, and it really kind of um undercuts all of the good that it's doing, all of the progression that it's making. I don't understand why these episodes keep getting mixed around. Maybe it was the format of the time, but I don't necessarily like it. And I feel like maybe in order to keep a semblance of continuity, that's why the villains are so blank slate and boring, is because they can't have them really change all that much in service of them mixing up the separated stories, you know? Yeah, I'm disappointed, but I still like the show. I still want it to be good. Either way, I guess that just about wraps up my ramblings about it. I'm sorry for being such being so negative about it. It's just that I want it to be better. So please be better, because I like the show. Anyways, guys, I think that's just about it. If you like this episode, hit that like button. Comment down below if you want to tell me what you thought about these episodes. Subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Also, hit that notification bell to get notified every time we upload a video. All the links to our social medias are in the description down below for the Go Mango Network and my personal ones. There's also a Discord chat link in there if you want to come talk to us. Anyways, guys, I think that's about it. I will see you next time.